instead of having and recycling these engagements, we want each and every person to become a stakeholder involved in championing gender-based violence.
So the idea is just to activate young learners, bring young learners to be change makers, active citizens, and basically do the best they can to basically change the situation they find themselves in.
As Linda has introduced that this is the Spark magazine and it's the 7th edition. This is a tool that the young people use in their schools to campaign and also share their learnings that they learn at the Masifunde Changemaker trainings. Check which term you think or you understand to fit in which category. Where did you place the term boy? Sex. Do we agree?
And as you were inviting us to be the change makers, it's part of us mobilizing our knowledges, our energies, our passions to imagine a world which is free of violence. But really thank you to Masifunde for bringing us all together and really building this network of change makers, because it's really about all of us doing our little bits and collectively changing the world for a better place.
And they talk to me sometimes when they're like, oh, these are the things we pick up, but sometimes we can't intervene because I would rather have the child in my class than to intervene to that extent. But also the parent is not close enough. And the child is sort of making a very adult decision here, you know, to say, I've got siblings at home, mom can only do so much, we've lost a dad, how do I change the economic status of our lives?
If I look at you, or rather you look at me now, right? You saw me, I come in on the Range Rover outside. I have a ring like this, and I'm controlling all these people. For me, I feel like power is so attractive sometimes, and he probably appeared as a very dominant person.
We see gender-based violence on an increase now, more than ever before. But at the same time, you see activism which seeks to bring about an end to GBV. And I find that paradox quite interesting. That on the one hand, you would see us mobilizing against GBV, but at the very same time, the prevalence is on the rise. Maybe that is warranting us to ask also another question. How did we get to this point where we are now becoming more aware and more sensitized about GBV, but at the very same time, acts of GBV are on the increase? But one other question that I want us to ask ourselves again is, how is gender itself implicated in the commission of violence? Sometimes it is very clear that, no, we are totally against GBVF. And then when you ask, oh yes, sure, we are. But what are we envisaging? What are we agitating for as a society? You might find that we don't speak the same language when it gets to that point. But when it comes to us being against it, we all sing the same voice.
Like I said when we started, it's all about what can we do in our day-to-day, all right? Colleagues shared theoretical information, which we value so much, but I guess my question to the two experts that had keynote speeches earlier on is, how can we translate that into practical, tangible ideas that we can implement at our schools?
Schools are perfect spaces for inculcating new set of attitudes, beliefs, and behavior.
So also creating with young people the kind of future they want that imagination of what it is that they want to see, and then we build capacity strengthening programs, advocacy campaigns, all of those things around that shared vision.
The most common challenges would be bullying and discrimination, and the most vulnerable learners would be girls, of course, grade 8 learners, boys and girls, and also LGBT learners. So in the list of vulnerable groups, you also find that learners with traditional gifts are also being discriminated and bullied in our schools.